welcome to tonight's final episode of Footnotes for the 2010-2011 school year. I'm Melissa Buggy.
And I'm Kirsten Sinopoli. Tonight we have an extended version of our program that we hope you'll enjoy. We'll take a look at this year's art show, interesting hobbies, quick snacks, college advice, and much more. Pull up a chair, relax, and enjoy the show.
First up, the end of the school year is very near. Between schoolwork, after-school activities, jobs, and sports, this time of year can be very stressful for many students. There are additional factors that make it even more stressful for upperclassmen, particularly juniors. Most students don't realize the important decisions that they make now can affect their future long after high school.
Recently, Allison Plasevich talked with Justine Rumble, a senior admissions counselor at the University of Rochester, about planning for your senior year of high school and what juniors should be doing if they are considering going to college.
Justine, since you're involved at colleges, can you tell us what students should be looking for in a college?
Yeah, if you're interested in college, the first thing you should start doing, especially in your junior year, is to start researching online. Right now in the year 2011, you should have access to a computer somewhere. I know your school does as well. So you should definitely be using those resources. First, search online. Think about where you want to go to school. If you're thinking about staying in Pennsylvania, or if you're thinking about going to other states, let's say you have family. I know you said you have family in Florida. You're thinking about looking around there. That's great. So first, before you pack up your bags and go on a flight to Alaska, make sure you go on the website and see what each school has to offer first. So if you're thinking Miami and you want some sun, a little bit more than that, you should be looking at the academics, what the school has to offer. After you comprise a list of schools that you're interested in, you should make a smaller list of things that you are interested in doing while you're there. So if you're thinking about visiting these schools, it may get expensive after a while to visit all of those schools. So you want to make sure that all of the schools that you do visit have the things that you're interested in. So you want to come up with a list online, visit the schools, preferably over the summer after your junior year, or in the fall of your senior year as you're taking classes. That way you can do an interview as well. Not all schools require you to do an interview, however, some do. So if you're doing an interview at that school, it's good to do it in the fall of your senior year. That way you have something to talk about. You can talk about the classes that you're taking, as well as some of your interests and what you want to do while you're there. Then consider the interview also as you interviewing the university as well. If you leave an interview feeling like, maybe this is not for me, or sort of turned off to the university, that's a good indication that maybe you shouldn't apply there. So that's why it's always good to research first, do an interview, and then decide where you want to apply. That way, March, April of your senior year, you're not panicking in the last minute to decide where you want to go. You at least have a top choice school and are thinking about the other options that are there. Also, you want to make sure that the academics that they offer are all of your interests. So if you have an interest in math and theater, you want to make sure that that school offers both of those things, because you never know, you may change your major and go into one or the other, or you may double major. First of all, see if the school allows you to double major, and make sure that it has all of the things that you're looking for. Because the good thing about the United States is that you have so many choices, so many colleges to choose from. So make sure you're doing that, and then that way it'll be a lot less stressful if you start early, junior year, and then start looking and then apply later on.
Okay, all right. Could you tell us a little about financial aid and what students should expect from it?
Yes, a very important question, especially this time period. It's a little bit different for all of you versus several years ago. The economy is very rough right now, so financial aid, scholarships, they should be a top priority. First and foremost, you should be considering the actual school that you're applying to. Do they have what you're interested in? Then you should be thinking, okay, how can I make this work financially? almost every college that I know of offers merit scholarships, as well as financial aid. One of the stereotypes is that a state school is much cheaper than a private school, or public school is much cheaper than a private school. However, when you factor in scholarships, financial aid, those kinds of things very often put them on the same playing field. The difference between merit scholarships is that they're based on solely your application and what you have to contribute to campus. So have you done your research? Have you interviewed and visited? More than ever, it is becoming more competitive for colleges, so they want to see that you're making contact, and it's hard to determine where your interest is on their list. So it's very important to make that known that, okay, this is the school that I love. If it becomes a school that you are admitted to, you may get scholarships that meet your interests. Another word of advice for merit scholarships is to make sure you share as much information about yourself in your application. There could be some really goofy scholarships out there. For example, if you are a student who loves juggling, there may be an endowed scholarship that relates to students who love juggling. So share all of those quirky little details that you may be nervous about sharing, because, believe it or not, they give us, the people reading your application, something to look forward to when we're reading applications, to know all those cool little details about you, and to think about scholarships. Financial aid is separate in that it is based solely on your financial need. So, things that you need to consider: what does your school that you're applying to require? Do they require the FAFSA, the CSS profile? Most colleges require both. So they're long forms that you have to fill out. Start them early. I would start filling them out as early as October of your senior year, and then finish them up depending on when the deadline is for that particular school. It's never too early to get in touch with the financial aid office of that school. But again, every college is completely different. They all have different requirements, so first and foremost, make sure you're going on that college's website to see what they require.
Many students are unsure about what they want to major in. Do you have any advice to give them?
Yes. So as you're doing your research, junior year, going into your senior year, as you're looking at a lot of schools, one of the great things about visiting the schools, the handful of schools that you do get to visit, is that you're able to sense what's really cool at this university, what talents do I have that can match up, and so you sort of do hone your interests in those areas, and you are able to get a sense of what path you want to go down as you're doing your college search. However, it is very important to keep your options open. If you know, for example, that you want to go into pre-med, or you want to go into engineering, it's good to consider schools that offer those options, but also think about other things that may interest you, because you may take that first engineering class and realize, this is not for me, I'm not interested in engineering anymore. So that's why it actually works out great for students who are undecided. Especially some schools, some colleges have an open curriculum where they're not requiring you right off the bat as you're applying to declare your major. So you actually decide as you're taking courses what you want to do. For a student who's undecided, they might find that some of those colleges work out best, and some of those colleges may be looking specifically for students who are undecided. So,
Many students look for a side job during colleges. Do most colleges provide this opportunity?
Yep. As we were talking about financial aid, one of the things that is considered as part of your financial aid package, if you apply for financial aid, again, that is something you need to apply for, not everybody does. If you apply for financial aid and you do get financial aid, you may qualify for what's called work study. A lot of colleges have specific jobs that you can work for, and it's not necessarily, working in the dining hall. You don't always have to do jobs that you may not be interested in. You could do some really cool jobs too that you may be interested in. Let's say you're an athlete. You may work in the athletic center or facilities in the athletic department. If you're interested in balancing your academic work as well as working and getting paid, you may work in the library and get some hours where you can do both at the same time. So schools really try to make sure that you get that opportunity to do that. Another thing is, even if you don't go through work study, a lot of college towns have a lot of options and are used to having a younger crowd, a college atmosphere. So they're used to having students come in and work at local shops and restaurants and areas like that. So when you're visiting schools, make sure you're looking around for those kinds of opportunities as well.
A lot of students worry if they will be accepted to the college of choice. Do you have any advice to give them so they can be the perfect candidate?
Yes. Again, a very important thing is to visit that school. I would always recommend visiting before you apply, because then you'll get a sense of whether this is a good fit for you or not. Plus, and this may sound a little creepy, but a lot of colleges, because it's getting more and more competitive for admission, we're actually keeping track of how much contact you're making. So if there are college fairs in the area where you can actually meet admissions representatives such as myself and talk to them and ask them questions specifically about their school, they're keeping track of that. So when you fill out those annoying, pesky little prospect cards that you have to turn in, and then you get tons of mail in the long run, it actually does work out to your benefit because we are keeping track of that. If you log into the website, particularly at University of Rochester, we keep track of your contact. So that helps us know that you're getting research, you're familiar with the school, so that's pretty important to us. Doing an interview also helps. Again, it's not required for a lot of universities, so the interview helps us figure out a little bit more about you, also consider what kinds of scholarships match up with your interests that we might not have known about otherwise. So those kinds of things are pretty important to us. Some things that students worry about are SATs or the ACT. That's another test that a lot of students take. And how your transcript works. It depends on the school and what their atmosphere is like, but number one priority is your academics and how you can contribute to that environment at that college. So your SATs are not the be-all, end-all. It is one piece of the application. Sometimes they do qualify for particular scholarships. Sometimes they do relate to financial aid as well. So it is important. Make sure, if you do have the opportunity to take the SAT more than once, that is a good idea. A lot of students worry about if they do well on one test and not so well on the other, do we see all of them? Most colleges allow you to combine the higher scores. So if you've taken it more than once, it works to your benefit. For the most part, we want to see your best ability. So we're not looking for all of your weaknesses, we're looking for all of your strengths. So if taking tests is not your forte, believe it or not, there are a lot of admissions counselors that are like you. But there's a lot of other opportunities and things that they're looking for in your application, which is why you need to really get on the website and talk to admissions counselors and see what they expect.
Okay, thank you.
That was a lot of good advice for next year, Kirsten. Since you and I will be seniors, we better get started.
Colleges look for well-rounded students involved in many activities, not just test scores alone. This next story features a club activity at MCA that definitely will be a plus on a college resume.
Do you think outside the box? If so, you may want to direct your attention to a few of Mount Carmel area's students who participate in Odyssey of the Mind. Reporter Caitlin Curran reports.
Odyssey of the Mind, known as OM, is a problem-solving world competition for students that requires many creative minds and delicate skill. Problems range from mechanical problems to literary interpretation. Students who participate in Odyssey of the Mind are given a choice of 5 long-term problems. The team then chooses a problem and creates a way to answer it in an 8-minute skit. They prepare and practice long in advance to perfect their routine. The team also has a spontaneous problem that will be randomly presented to them the day of the competition, which gives them the opportunity to show off their quick thinking skills. This year, MCA had 10 teams who participated in Odyssey of the Mind and 6 teams who placed in the regional competition. If a team places first or second in the regional competition, the team then advances to states. 3 of the MCA teams advanced to Worlds to continue their excellence in the international competition at the University of Maryland. The coaches of the 3 teams who will be competing are Mrs. Cheryl Latours, Mrs. Nancy Jaraski, and Miss Missy Muldowney's team, Mr. Jesse Wagner's and Mrs. Melissa Purcell's team, and Mr. and Mrs. Aaron and Kelly Demansky's team, whose team placed second in the state competition last year with their skit, Food Court, which placed 6th in the world competition. All 3 teams will have the opportunity to meet and communicate with people around the world that have the same passion for this competition. While it is an honor, it also costs a lot of money for registration and housing. One way the students are fundraising is by hosting a spaghetti dinner on Sunday, May 22nd in the high school cafeteria. In addition to dinner, there will be an Italian basket auction off filled with delicious goodies. Teams will also present their winning performances to guests at the dinner. People can buy a ticket for $10 and support OM while also enjoying a delicious dinner and entertainment.
We wish all teams the best of luck in Maryland for the World Finals on May 27th through May 30th. And the OM teams thank all who support their fundraising efforts.
A special donor brunch has been planned for Wednesday, May 25th at 8 a.m. in the high school auditorium. The teams will perform their skits, and the donors will be treated to a brunch in the choral room after the performances.
Finally, when you think of a school lunch and the cafeteria, you think of eating a quick meal, socializing with your friends, and a break from classes.
But reporter Marissa Montgomery, along with cameraman Eric Jaraski, went on another one of her excursions to see just what a day in the life of a cafeteria staff member is like. Let's take a look.
Once again, I took a behind-the-scenes look into the school cafeteria to get the inside scoop. My day began bright and early at 6 a.m., much earlier than my usual start time. The first thing I did was align and salt frozen pretzels on trays, each and every one of them. Somehow, I managed to get more salt on the trays than I did on the pretzels. Next, I served breakfast and learned how to use the CAFTRAC checkout system. After the homeroom bell rang, most students were off to the first period class. As for me, however, I had to prepare all the food for lunchtime: Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and corn. Tray after tray, I lined up rows of frozen Salisbury steaks.
So smells like Salisbury.
Bin after bin, I poured, seasoned, and buttered the corn. But the fun didn't stop there. Mrs. Hoffman then showed me how to prepare the made-to-order bar. I also got an in-depth informative lesson on the correct way to make a wrap. Who knew there was a correct way? Adding to the kitchen madness, Mrs. Steck showed me how to use a jumbo-sized can opener, which we use to open giant cans of mashed potatoes.
Turn it around. And once you get near the end, see how it lifts up? Yeah. You hold it, and that goes over there. Okay. And then it goes on the flat part. There you go. Now you have to jam it down.
That wasn't very hard.
Down behind you goes. Now turn. Don't hold on to it. I don't think you have it in there far enough. Turn that way, baby.
Stop it, Eric.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Then came the fun part. I whisked, well, at least I tried to whisk the gravy.
Do you cook it all at home?
Absolutely not. Nothing. Microwave is my best friend.
And poured it into a pot the size of a small swimming pool.
Just hold it on the end there. Go a little faster. If you dump it faster, it won't
if you
trip.
pour it fast, it won't.
There you go.
Oh no, it's not dissolved.
That's all right.
And to stir it, a giant metal paddle.
Row!
Might take a while.
In the meantime, Marlon Hodge gathered up the last of the trash from breakfast time and recruited me, an unlicensed driver, to push it out to the dumpster. At that point, I began to realize that some things appear easier than they really are until you actually do them. Next up came making the pizza. Dough, sauce, cheese, and pepperoni strategically stacked upon one another, then put into the oven and baked to perfection. Surprisingly, I had a knack for pizza making. By the time we were done, the Salisbury steaks were done as well, so we loaded them in bins, covered them in gravy, and put them in the heating unit until lunch A. Fruit crisp is one of the most popular food items at our food court. Mrs. Hoffman showed me what goes into making a batch. Ingredients included butter, flour, brown sugar, and fruit. But before I knew it, it was time for lunch. The pressure was on. My first step was the made-to-order bar with Mrs. Hoffman. Things not only had to be done correctly, but also quickly enough to prevent students from becoming impatient. Then I served at the main line, where the hot food I had prepared earlier was now being consumed by my peers. I anxiously admired my work of art as I served them. Next job was learning how to use the calf trap to check students out. After that, the messy task of cleaning up came upon me. I collected trays and cleared the major food particles with my hands, then put them on a conveyor belt where they would be rinsed in preparation for the scrubbing, which would be taken care of later. When all of the condiments were brought back to the kitchen, they had to be cleaned. It was quite the stomach turner. All the extra ketchup, dressings, mustard, and barbecue sauces had to be pumped out of the containers into a big soapy water-filled sink. And finally, the part of the day that almost caused me to bring up my hard-earned lunch, cleaning the tray washer. To do this, I had to remove screens covered in excess food that wasn't removed from the trays by hand, then clear the food from the screens and replace them. By the time I had finished, the ladies were all packed up and ready to head home. I had never been more relieved. I dragged myself to the nearest couch and collapsed. The members of the cafeteria staff are some of the hardest working people at our school, and getting a first-hand glimpse of what they do for just one day taught me to appreciate them every day with each bite of my lunch.
Take some sausage patty or bagel. The bread for that one. So being that we only have just
Who would think so much work goes into preparing our school lunches for the day? The lunch staff sure works hard.
Well, thinking of lunch makes me hungry, but before you grab those potato chips or that candy bar, wait, because two of our reporters, Nicole Horsfield and Kirsten Zarski, investigated and prepared some quick snacks that not only are healthy, but also are quick and easy to make.
Hi there, I'm Nicole Horsfield.
And I'm Kirsten Zarski.
This is Kirsten and Nicole's cooking show. Today our show will feature healthy snacks that you can make in 5 minutes or less. These snacks will be for anybody in a rush or just plain hungry.
First, we'll prepare tortilla roll-ups. Some of the ingredients we'll be using for them include flour tortillas, cream cheese, sliced American cheese, and sliced ham. Take your tortilla and spread the cream cheese out about 1 inch from the edge. Then, place the ham and cheese in the center and fold the entire tortilla in half. Put your creation into the microwave for 30 seconds until the cheese is melted. If tortilla roll-ups are not to your liking, then you can always try quick and easy nachos. They include 2 simple ingredients, tortilla chips and shredded cheese. You can also mix and match your toppings to suit your taste. Place the nachos on the microwavable plate and simply sprinkle with cheese. Heat for 30 seconds. Just enough time to do some push-ups, or until the cheese is melted. A real easy snack to make in a pinch is ants on a log. No, not real ants, raisins. Take a celery stick, spread some peanut butter on it, and then sprinkle with raisins. Substitute cashews or any kind of nuts, and you have bumps on a log. Either way, it is a quick, easy, nutritious snack. Finally, to wash down that food, or to just enjoy a refreshing drink, you can make a simple fruit smoothie in less than 5 minutes. Any fruit can be used, such as mangoes, bananas, pineapples, strawberries, peaches, and blueberries. You'll also need liquids, and some good choices might be orange juice, low-fat yogurt, low-fat milk, soy, or skim milk. Add vanilla extract or other flavorings or complementary ingredients such as cinnamon to adjust the flavors to your liking. When placing the ingredients into the blender, another good idea is to use ice cubes to chill the smoothie as well as thicken it when blended. All these recipes can be altered and do not have to be the exact way we made them. You can add any ingredient or even take away the ones we used and substitute them to please your appetite. After we completed our smoothies, Mr. Yarch came by just in time to have a taste of deliciousness.
Those small meals look easy, quick, and delicious. They sure looked fun to make too. Now I know what I'll be eating once I go home.
The students at MCA displayed their creativity and imagination through their art projects for the recent art show. The art show is a great way to experience students' hard work during the school year. Take a look at these awesome art projects as reporters Nicole Horsfield and Matt Shern, along with the help of cameraman Josh Tamidi, stopped by the art show.
Mount Carmel Area's 2011 art show was a true success as many people came to observe the hard work of students and the creativity that came along with it. Works of art from both the elementary and high school were on display throughout the hallways and high school gymnasium. Art student entries in 12 categories of various media ranging from drawings, paintings, crafts, sculptures of metal, fiber, ceramics, jewelry, and more were eligible for first, second, and third place monetary awards. But only one entry was awarded the coveted Best of Show, receiving the $100 cash prize. This year's winner was Kelly Flynn's Purple Tree. The art club sponsors the cash prizes totaling more than $1,000 throughout their fundraising efforts. Honorable mention ribbons are also awarded.
How long have you been interested in art?
Ever since I was a kid, really. It's just my grandfather taught me a lot, like how to draw and all that, and then it just grew from there.
We are looking at a specific drawing of yours. What possessed you to do a drawing of Lady Gaga completely out of words?
Well, I mean, Lady Gaga is one of my favorite people in the world, and I don't know, I love her album. It was brilliant, so I decided, what better to do than do a picture of her out of her lyrics? So, I don't know, I guess that's where it all started.
What is your name?
Stephanie Dunkelberger.
Right. And what are we standing in front of right now?
The third grade pumpkins.
All right. Do you have a favorite pumpkin?
Yes, it's the one with the pink stripes.
Was there a reason for making the pumpkins, or was it just...
It was just for like a decoration for Halloween.
If you missed out this year, there is no need to fret because there is an art show every spring at MCA. With different entries and different themes of decoration, the art show is bound once again to be another success next year.
MCA is filled with many talented artists. This was a great opportunity to allow the students' artwork to be displayed and appreciated for the public to perceive. Speaking of creativity, for many, art can be considered one's hobby.
But when someone says the word hobby, a person might think of a coin or stamp collection. And let's face it, those hobbies aren't for everyone. For the next story, reporter and videographer Matt Shern shows a variety of hobbies anyone could enjoy in a very unique and creative way.
You can't possibly be having any fun. This is a really, really weird pop-up. Trust me, I'm not a pop-up. I'm here to help. I'm going to give you a dose of spring fever. Don't be so surprised. This is your classmate, Christine Morozic. So you're telling me that is Christine? Yeah, and she volunteered to help you get out of your winter funk. Let's get out of here now so we can let her draw in peace.
Drawing or painting can be a great summertime hobby that doesn't cost a lot of money. Art can be very rewarding and a way to share your talent with your friends and family. You may even want to further your skills and join a class.
What are you doing? Next hobby is picture taking. Put on your best pose, of course, and show your pearly whites. Our next hobby is woodworking. If you like being creative and working with your hands, then this is the perfect hobby for you. You're starting to catch my attention a little bit. Most schools actually provide an opportunity for you to further your skills in woodworking by offering a certain class that teaches you either the basic fundamentals or advanced skills.
Woodworking is a practical hobby. You can make small pieces of furniture, cabinets, or artistic pieces for your house while honing your skills and using as tools of the trade. Woodworking can also be rewarding and teach you skills that will save money on bigger projects.
The ability to play piano amazes me. When I look at a sheet of paper, I see a different language. Playing piano is pretty amazing, but you know, I'm more of an air guitar type of person.
Another worthwhile hobby is learning to play an instrument. Music offers a great way to relax and exercise your mind. This was just a sampling of the many hobbies you can enjoy. If you are stuck to a computer, you can go to www.findmeahobby.com and you'll find many suggestions to keep you busy. Good luck and happy hobbying.
That was neat, and it sure makes you think about the many hobbies people can enjoy. When I was younger, I collect test trucks and Beanie Babies.
Some people consider having pets as a hobby. In this next story, you may find the perfect pet to welcome into your home. Writer, reporter, and videographer Kara Sinopoli took a visit to Mostly Mutts Animal Shelter.
The MCA Interact Club took their annual trip to the Mostly Mutts Animal Shelter to deliver animal food, blankets, cleaning supplies, and toys. Mostly Mutts is a no-kill animal shelter located in Sunbury and is run by Cheryl Hill and a board of directors. There are many loving dogs waiting to be adopted at Mostly Mutts, like Drifter, a lab mix. Drifter is 3 months old and one of the icicle puppies. Another dog waiting to be adopted is Hunter, a 6-year-old male basset hound. Hunter has a true basset nose, sniffing the ground wherever he goes. He is very friendly and walks well on a leash. Inca and Anka are German short hair mixes that were born on November 12, 2010. These sisters have had their puppy shots and love to play with other dogs. Any of these dogs can easily be adopted or sponsored by going to the Mostly Mutts website, www.mostlymutsonline.com. The most important lesson that Cheryl Hill discussed was that an adoption should last a lifetime. And adopting a dog can be similar to dating, that the animal and the owner have to be right for each other to form a lasting relationship.
I'm thrilled that our school partakes in such a worthy endeavor, especially with supporting animals in need.
Another rewarding outcome at MCA involves a member of the Interact Club who exerts goodwill by helping others.
Recently, Interact student and Mount Carmel area sophomore Alyssa Belsky was given special recognition and a plaque for her diligent service to the MPL, Membership, Learning, and Participation Inclusion Program. The program consists of student volunteers escorting students with multiple disabilities through the hallways during passing of classes. While most students volunteer once a week, Alyssa can be seen most days, accompanying students both mornings and afternoons through the halls. Alyssa's consistency exemplifies her dedication and commitment to helping others.
Congratulations and nice job, Alyssa.
And finally, for our last story of the evening and the season, have you ever wondered what happens in order to broadcast an episode of Footnotes?
Reporter Taylor Getty wanted to share with our audience an in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at the making of Footnotes.
After 6 successful editions of Footnotes, the writers and editors decided that we'd show a little behind-the-scenes footage on what happens to put a show together. Each 2 to 3 minute story can take days and even weeks to complete. Despite this, our stories and broadcasts still run smoothly and quickly, usually. First, writers are either assigned a topic or come up with their own to create a story. For the next few episodes, students had to come up with their own topics and deliver a pitch to their classmates and editors to convince them that their idea would make for an interesting story. Writers then began brainstorming and thinking of what type of video and interviews they would need. After the reporters write their story, the stories are then proofread and revised to make sure that they flow naturally with good transitions. Next, a storyboard is made to illustrate what video the story would need and what will be shown on screen while the audio is playing. The stories are either shown with the reporter speaking in front of the camera or as a narration with film on the screen. The video for the story could be taped before or after the draft has been made, and writers view raw tapes to see what they want to use for their final story. The editors can then adjust their video clips using the software programs Final Cut Pro or Avid. Students edit how long each piece of raw film will play. Audio is also added by using the software. Once the story is complete and the film is edited, the stories are then combined and ready to go on for the next show. The taping of the anchors and transitions for the show are taped in advance, where the hosts briefly comment on each story and smoothly transition into the next. The script is loaded onto the teleprompter, which someone must operate at just the right pace so the anchors can read the script naturally. Sometimes this is accomplished in one take, and sometimes it can take a little longer. Putting together written words with the best video to tell a story is a long and sometimes challenging process, but the end result can be very rewarding to the writer and entertaining and informative to the audience.
I'm just like skipping words. I told you I can't read. Required order form is available on the high school website at www.mca.
You're fired. When you tell someone to be natural, it's hard to be natural. All right. One take. There's 2 takes.
It looked like they enjoyed the tour at least. Next, Marissa here takes a look at...
With the focus on...
Okay. Even though, I'm sorry.
Okay, wait till the bell's done and read that line. Even though, start there.
Even though many resolutions are broken, people make them to try to better oneself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wait, what? Oh, wait, no, wait. Stop. How did... Thank you. How did coming here change your outlook on how to take care... What did you learn in the courses you took today?
Oh, I didn't know I had to do all that.
Thank you.
Today, our show featured
Healthy snacks.
So excited.
I didn't even get the rest of it. Hi there. Hi there. I'm Nicole Horsfield.
And I'm Kirsten Zarski.
And this is Kirsten and Nicole's Cooking Show. Hi there. I hate you so much. Hi there. Hi there. I'm Nicole Horsfield.
And I'm Kirsten Zarski.
And this is Kirsten and Nicole's Cooking Show.
Oh my god!
We hope you'll continue to watch Footnotes on WKMC TV,
Where your neighbors are
where your neighbors are our stars.
yeah, it's like the hour is like, you were right there too. Our hour. Okay, I got it now.
Right there. Right there, Miss Wimble.
No.
Miss Wimble, right there.
It really is amazing how the world is so globally connected through technology and why it's important. An effort in making those handmade. See, I thought you were.
You could have just said
you were
handmade
gonna,
items. It would have been fine.
I thought you were gonna change that though. That's why I got.
Supposed to be changed.
Yeah.
That should be homemade ornaments are the best kind of tree ornaments. Well, I said before.
Okay, I can remember it. I'll just do it.
Eric, you say.
Heck yeah.
I agree.
I concur. I concur.
I concur.
The tree in the lobby looks great.
All right. No, I really would like to go home, Miss Trumbull. No, we can do it. But we can do it.
With glee, yeah, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. You'll go down in history.
Two down.
Wait.
Yeah, that was good. Go back to where you were. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. As you can see, we work hard and often scramble to meet deadlines to complete our stories, but we do manage to have fun along the way. It's been a fun year. Kirsten, what's your favorite story you worked on?
I enjoyed my story on the winter sports recap. It was a lot of fun. I got to talk to some of the athletes. What about you?
I really enjoyed my first video. It was Supper Club at Mantucci's. I learned quite a bit.
Well, that wraps up our final first season of Footnotes.
The staff at WKMC TV wishes everyone a safe and enjoyable summer. Student reporters will be back this fall with MCA Live on weekday mornings, our school and sports programming during evenings, and Footnotes on specially designated evening broadcasts.
See you next school year on WKMC TV, where your neighbors are always our stars.